cruising, and over 20 million people across the world take cruises every year. But how do you get the most out of your sailings? Joining us now with a breakdown of what to look for, we welcome the owner of Jordan Executive Travel Service, Margie Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Cruising, people love to do it. You apparently had such a great time on your first cruise that you started a travel agency to do nothing but cruise it. Is that what happened?
Well, I loved the experience of being out and being abroad. I had traveled all over the U.S.
Yeah.
And it was my first experience out of the country, and I had a fabulous time.
So, but you were on a cruise.
I was on a cruise.
So then, how did that translate into, I want to start a travel agency for this? Because, I mean, a lot of people have fun times on cruises and don't start a travel agency based around it.
So, I figured people wanted to travel like me. I really like to go out and experience the culture. I don't want to just stay in a resort or, you know, on a shore excursion. I want to get out and go where the locals go, where they go eat, where they go hang out, and just talk to people. So that's really what I did on my cruise. I just didn't take a shore excursion. I got in a taxi and I went out.
Bold. You're very bold. Very bold. But you know, you say that a cruise is like the perfect vacation. Before we came back on air, I shared with you my experience.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing right now, but I'm going to take another cruise that'll change all that. But why do you say that?
It's a little bit of everything. It's like the perfect vacation for all the family members. Generally, cruises are done with families. That's where you see the mass cruises with Disney and Royal Caribbean and Carnival and the other cruise lines, the big ones. So you go on with your family, and they're experts at like putting together programs for the kids, for mom and dad, for everybody. I mean, I took my granddaughter, just her and I, last year on a Disney cruise. I have 4 grandchildren.
Oh, you look so good! Yay!
But I went on a Disney cruise with her, just her and I.
Oh, how fun.
And I wasn't sure, you know, I mean, how many days of Disney could I take?
Yes,
really?
yes.
And I got on there and it was fantastic. The entertainment, the theater shows were just beyond belief. They were so amazing. We loved it so much that we're going back this year with 2 of them instead of 1 grandchild. So
Nice.
It's quite the experience.
Well, one thing it seems like with cruises that is one cool thing about them is you get to go to different ports, and then like there's one area that I've been to that like I want to go back someday and just go on a vacation there. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a taste of different places in case you don't know.
So in that respect, if you've never been to the Caribbean, or you can do Europe or other places, it gives you a little taste of each destination that you go to. And why I like this is so you don't spend a ton of money on a land vacation to some destination you may not like. I mean, for instance, I wasn't fond of Grand Cayman. I'd probably never fly back over there and spend a week. But send me to Jamaica or send me to Antigua, for instance. I love Antigua. Go there in a heartbeat. But it gives you just a little taste of each of the islands.
Now, how do people choose the right cruise? I know, like for me, I would want one with no kids.
Yes.
I would want one without all the frat guys running around drunk. And every time you think, okay, school just started, so I'm going to book a cruise for that. I get on there and there's 50 million little rugrats. So how in the world do you pick the right cruise? What would you recommend for someone maybe in my situation?
Okay, so I really do believe that every ship and every cruise line has a personality first. And you have to kind of understand that to decide what you want to go on. Now, there's no cruises that are really adult only unless it's a charter. You don't really get that. You're going to get kids. But trying to find that ideal time where there's not as many kids, summer, don't even consider if you're trying to avoid kids, because that's when every parent is thinking about going. So don't go spring break. And you want to look at not just spring break here, but what's that general range? Because they can still be on that boat with you.
Go when there's testing in school.
Well,
you know they're going to have to be in
And that's where a travel agent would come in handy for that, because you would
we
know
can
these
help.
trends.
We can help kind of decide
Now,
those
speaking
things.
of travel agent, there are some people that is a firm believer in using travel agents for cruises or for vacations, and there are some that says, with the world of Mr. Google these days, you don't really need it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you still do, because I still think there's a lot of things you need to know. For instance, now Cuba's opened up, and there are ships going to Cuba. You can't sail to Cuba without a passport, but you can sail on other cruises without a passport. So if you just happened to book that cruise and didn't know that you needed a passport and you got there and you didn't have one, you're not getting on that cruise.
Oh,
so there's little things that we know that we can share with you.
Yeah,
Make sure you have a good experience.
Get the family all the way down there, start to get on the ship, and nope, can't go. You got to go back home.
Exactly.
What about a newer ship versus an older ship? You've got some ideas for newer ships. Which are the best ones?
Well, there's a lot of new ones coming. One of my favorites that's coming is the Celebrity Edge, and it's not coming until towards the end of next year. But this ship is fantastic.
Wow.
It's so beautiful. Let me tell you. That's it. They've partnered. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
No.
Yes. There's 2-level suites there where you have your own view of the ship, your own
that is
pool.
sexy.
It's beautiful. Oh my God.
Wow, look at that.
They partnered with a company for the design, so it's unlike you would see design on any other ship. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
You would
one
forget
of
you're
my
actually on a
favorites.
ship. I mean,
You
that is
would.
absolutely
And
beautiful.
you're pretty
Oh my God.
self-contained
How is it in
there.
price comparison?
Well, it's going to cost you a little bit in terms of those suites are going to cost you a little bit, but they have the normal ocean view rooms that are even just spectacular. The rooms open up. So your veranda is now actually part of your room. It's not a separate door where you just, you know, you pop out of and pop back in, but it opens completely up and becomes part of the room.
I gotta start playing a lottery.
Where is that celebrity ship going to cruise to, though?
It's got a couple itineraries, the Caribbean primarily.
Okay.
Oh,
wow, that'll be great.
Start
So Grand
playing the
Cayman, your
lottery,
favorite.
that's-
Grand Cayman, perfect.
Hopefully not Grand Cayman, but you'll get some good entertainment on board the ship as well. It's just spectacular. It's a beautiful ship.
So
Now,
before
you
you
sign up.
go, let's make sure we talk about the different types of cruises, because there's not just the ocean.
Yes.
What else is out there?
So river cruising is really, really big right now. And if you're not sure if you're going to get sick on the water or, you know, you just want a different experience, river cruising is different because you're not out in the open ocean, number one. So you don't have to worry about the waves and the seasickness. The other thing is you're cruising through cities. You're cruising down rivers that are going through cities. So you're almost immediately in port. Wherever you go, you're almost immediately there. So it's a different experience. It's definitely different than ocean cruising. You're not going to find 100 million children there. I promise you that.
There you go,
You're going to
Carissa.
find a few, but you won't find a bunch. But it's just a different experience. It's a wonderful opportunity to see more of a city because you pull up right in port. You're not taking an excursion over that's, you know, 30 minutes before you get into the city.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
A lot of
Gosh,
cruises-
we unfortunately got to
Out of time.
go. So yes, we're out of time.
I'll ask
We
you
could
that.
talk longer. Maybe next time we could talk on a cruise that you might take us all
Yes,
on.
come go with me.
Oh, the
one.
chat cruise.
Yes,
Cruising
the
with the
chat
chat.
cruise.
Cruising
Yes.
with the chat.
Love this
All
idea.
right, we're going to discuss that, but thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. If you want more information, visit jordanexecutivetravel.com. Give her a call, 904-701-0291. We're going to be right back.
Is your body storing fat more easily? Do you suffer